Hello, everyone. Welcome to our file handling session. So, in the last few videos, we learned about how to open and close files, how to edit files or update information, contents inside file, and how to delete it. So we have learned how to handle text files, CSV files, and today we are going to cover HTML files. So in case if you haven't seen those videos, there is a link in the description box. That is the link of the playlist where you can find all the videos of Python from beginners to intermediate level till now, and there is also a link of GitHub repository link where you can find all the lessons, all the exercises that we done in the videos. So please go through that. And if you have any confusion, any doubt about any video, please write in the comment box and I will reach back to you, get back to you as soon as possible. So, I hope you all know what HTML files is. It's a standard markup language for web pages. So, HTML generally you use for to create website. So to read or to open HTML file, it's the same syntax as we open all other files. We create a file object with open method where we give a file name or the path of file. If the file is saved in the same folder where you are doing your, where you are using your Jupyter notebook, then you just give file name. But if your file has stored in a different folder, then you give path name, the path of the file with the folder name and everything. Then you use a mode. By default, when a file open, the mode is R. It opens files for read only purpose, but you can define your mode after defining your file path or file name. That can be for reading, for writing, for appending information, or uh, to overwrite your file as well. If you want to delete your content, existing content with the new content, then you can use write mode as well. So here, after creating file object, you when you want to add data in that, you use write method with file object, where in the write method in the parenthesis you write your content in quotes to add data inside your file. To save and close your file, you use file object with close method as we have discussed previous videos as well. And it is really important to close your file if when you open it, when you are done with your file, it is really important to close it. Otherwise, please use with the clause, with open and then with as define file object, because with clause, what happens file, when you are done with the file editing or reading or writing, it closes the file itself. So here, what we are starting, first we are creating a new HTML file. Here you can see I have created a file object file, and as I told before, as I mentioned before, that you can write any name. You can use HTML, you can use ABCD, XYZ, whatever you want to give name your file object, you can give. I chose to use file to read easily. So file is a object, file object. Then I'm opening, then I used open method. It doesn't matter if you want to create, if you want to append, you always start with open method. So I'm using open, and in open I gave the name of my file. So here I didn't give the path. So what it will do, it will save my file, or it will create my new file in the same folder where I'm using my notebook. And then I'm using the write mode. So what write mode or append mode do, if the file doesn't exist in the folder, it creates a new file. So you can use these append or write mode to create file as well. And then here I'm adding input into the data, sorry, into the file. I'm adding data into the file. So here I'm using file object with write method. Within the write method, I used HTML within quotes. So here I have started HTML. In next line there is head, so that means header. Then I'm giving in next line title. So you know a little bit knowledge of HTML to write the HTML text here. And then I'm saving and closing the file with close method. So if I run this, you can see a new file is created here. Intro.html, that is the name of my file. You can read your file as well, as we have read before. In the same way, its method is same. The only thing is that the extension, that is .html, the extension is different here. Previously, if for CSV file we used .csv, for text file we used .txt, for HTML we use .html. So here I'm opening the same file intro.html in read mode only. So I can only read here. I cannot add data in there. And then I'm using read method with file object f. So you can see here I have used a different file object here. It is not file, it is f. So this is the purpose was to show you that you can use any alphabet, any word here to create your file object. So here I'm using f file object with read method that will print all the contents that is inside the intro HTML file. And I'm also using close method to close it after reading all the text, all the content in the HTML file. So if I run it, what will happen? It will print everything that is in HTML format, of course, because we are reading HTML file as a raw file here. But if you want to read, if you want to see what HTML file is doing here, what you have written here, if you run it in your browser, you can see what we have written here. First heading was welcome to HTML file intro, and in the second line, second heading, what I have written, for learners, right? So you can see here my first heading is welcome to HTML file intro for learners. So that file we have created here. You can read HTML, what you have written here. You can read it here as well. Now, if you want to append values, what you can do, it is the same method as we have used with other files. I have here used with clause, with open, again intro.html. Now I'm using append mode because I don't want to override things. I don't want to delete what is the content of the file. I want to add content inside the file. So then I define my file object with as file. Here I'm writing file.write the same way I created it. In the write method, I'm using new content within the quotes. When I run it and try to read it, you can see it's changed, right? Here I have added heading 3. And what is my heading 3? This is a heading, and with P this is a paragraph. So that you can see this is a heading being added, and this is a paragraph also being added. If now I refresh it, then download, and then run it again, you can see that welcome to HTML file intro for learners. That was our previous data. This is a heading, this is a paragraph, has also been added inside my HTML file, right? So now, if you want, there is another file called python.html. Sorry, I forgot to download it here. So here it is, python html. So what is this? I'm using with clause. I'm opening this file python.html in read mode, and I created a file object read file. And then again I'm opening a new file. Here this is a text file I'm creating, and I'm creating a file object here, write file. Why I created read file and write file object? So that it becomes easier for me. What is the purpose of what is the read file, what I'm reading, and what I'm giving in the write file, so it becomes easier. So try to give name of your variables or file objects that becomes easier for you to read, and if another person is reading your code, that person can also understand what you are doing in there. So here for lines in read file, so I'm checking each line in python.html because it's read file object with read lines. And then I'm checking if href in lines, because when we define URL links, we always give this keyword before that. So in lines, position, what would be the position? Lines dot find where I will find href, that will be my position. My first position is as soon as I got first double quote, and what will be my last position? As soon as I get next double quote. Then my URL will be the lines, my first position plus 1. So it will create a like plus 1. Why plus 1? Because I don't want to read quote here. I want to read the next letter after quote till my second position. And then I'm writing this with my write file object, that is the text file object. With write method, I want to write that URL link into the text file, and then I'm going to the next line. So whenever I add next URL link, it will take you there in next line. So I run it, and if I try to read again, so you can see all the URL links are here, whatever is in the Python HTML. So if you open that file, you can see here I have www.python tutorial link. Then I have index here, 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 and here. And before that, I have a keyword href, right? And this, all the links are in double quotes. So that's why I checked first href. I looked for that. And then I looked for first quote and last quote, and I took the string between that quotes. I hope you get it, you understand it. If there is any doubt, any question, how I did it, please write me in the comment box and I will explain you with more examples. This video was short because HTML file, I can explain you this much right now, so it won't confuse you too much, because I know everybody doesn't know this language, so it's hard to grasp what I'm doing inside. So if you have any question, any doubt, please write. If you like my video, press like button, and don't forget to subscribe it so you know whenever I post my next video. Keep practicing, keep learning. See you until next time.